Away from that, Africa is calling for increased adaptation financing to help mitigate the impacts of greenhouse gas emissions from developed countries. Speaking during an interview in Nairobi, UNEP's Regional Director and Representative Dr. Rose Mwebaza urged industrialized nations to reduce their emissions in line with the Paris Agreement target of limiting global warming below 1.5 degrees Celsius.
Things that Africa is still pushing for, it's adaptation financing. The amount of resources coming do not in any way reflect the kind of financing that Africa needs to adapt. And it's such a pity because, as we know, Africa contributes, 4% or less there about greenhouse gas emissions. So that is an agenda that Africa must continue to pursue to its completion. But also, as you will have seen in the negotiations, the adoptions that were done by our ministers, the call on to the 20 most highly industrialized countries, the G20, to cut emissions. We've breached the 1.5 degrees, and we will hit the tipping point unless those countries cut greenhouse gas emissions. There is so much that Africa can do, and it is doing its part. If you look at the NDCs of many of the African countries, they do address mitigation actions. But the deep cuts that are needed for mitigation to cut greenhouse gas emissions must come from the G20 and must come from the G7. And those are some of the things that African countries are pursuing, so that really for Africa, it's not a cliche when we say it's an existential crisis. People are dying, extreme weather events.
East African Legislative Assembly